Daniel 4:6a, Belteshazzar, Rav Char Tumaya di Ana Yid 8, di Ruach Elahin Kadishin Bak, brings us to this Zakef Katon, which we've just selected as a convenient place to do our analysis up to. So coming back to the beginning, Belteshazzar, this is Daniel's Babylonian name, and it's a vocative use of it coming at the beginning of the speech act here. And we see a Zarkah, which is a third order disjunctive accent. Now coming up to the second order disjunctive accent, Sagolta, we have an explanation of who Belteshazzar is. He's chief, that's Rav, of the magicians. And if you remember, the magicians had been among those who had paraded before the king attempting to explain the vision. So continuing on, we have a relative marker here, and then the first person common singular independent pronoun I, and then coming up to Revia here, which if you remember is a third person disjunctive, we have a Pa'al perfect first person common singular. Now, I want to point this out and kind of pause for a moment. The normal use of the perfect in biblical Aramaic is to act as a past tense. However, here we see that it makes most sense to be I know. Why is that? Well, for psychological verbs, this is a normal thing, both in Hebrew and Aramaic, for it to connote present tense when we see a perfect. Continuing on then to the second line, here we have this phrase that goes up to this pashta, which if you remember is a third level disjunctive accent, the spirit of the holy gods, which we saw before in verse 5, and then in you here at the end. Now, an interesting thing about what we've selected here for Daniel 4:6 is that all of this is really evocative, and that continues on. So Belteshazzar, chief of the magicians, who I know, and then this relative here, who I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in you. So we are actually going to continue on with more vocative in the second part of Daniel 4:6.